Before you scroll away, listen to this carefully, because what sits quietly in a house does not always stay quiet in a life. Some things look normal, some things look beautiful, some things even come wrapped as gifts, memories, decorations, family treasures, or harmless fun. But not everything that enters your home comes to bless it. Some things carry weight, some things shift the atmosphere, some things stay hidden until peace starts breaking, sleep starts changing, and joy starts fading for no clear reason. And if you stay with me, you may recognize something you have ignored for too long. This is not about fear, it is about awareness. It is about seeing what has been sitting in plain sight. Because sometimes the battle is not just around you, sometimes it is already inside the rooms you live in every day. And what you allow to remain can slowly shape the air you breathe, the thoughts you fight, the rest you lose, and the peace you keep asking for. So stay locked in, because what comes next may help you understand why some doors in your life have stayed open too long, and why this is the moment to shut them for good. Your home should feel like shelter. It should feel like rest. It should feel like peace. But for many people something feels off, and they cannot explain why. The truth is simple. What you welcome into your space can affect what grows in your atmosphere. We live in a time where people notice what is visible but ignore what is spiritual. They clean the floor, but never question the influence. They lock the windows, but never inspect the entry points that do not use keys. And that is where the problem begins. Darkness is often subtle. It does not always arrive with noise. It enters through what seems common, familiar, stylish, sentimental, or culturally acceptable. It settles in slowly. It hides behind routine. It wears the face of normal life. Then one day the room feels heavy. Prayer feels harder. Rest feels thinner. Tension rises for no reason. Confusion lingers in corners where peace should live. If that sounds familiar, keep listening, because this matters more than people think. There are items many people keep without question, and those items can become silent points of agreement. Some were bought on impulse, some were inherited, some were given by people you trusted, some came from travel, fashion, trends, hobbies, or curiosity. But once you start noticing what has been allowed in, things begin to make sense. This is the moment to examine, not excuse. This is the moment to become alert, not passive. Because the atmosphere of a home is not built only by paint, furniture, and lighting. It is shaped by what is honored there, what is tolerated there, and what is given room to stay. And once you understand that, you stop calling everything harmless just because it looks harmless at first glance. The first things to examine are objects used as decor that carry dark meaning or spiritual confusion. I am talking about art, symbols, statues, masks, wall pieces, and strange designs that may look creative, but carry a message far deeper than color and shape. Some people hang things in their home just because they look exotic, mysterious, edgy, or powerful. But appearance is not the same as innocence. There are items connected to worship, ritual, fortune-seeking, hidden power, or spiritual deception, and when they are placed in a home as decoration, they may do more than decorate. They may announce agreement. That is why you need to ask simple questions. What is this object? Where did it come from? What does it represent? Why do I feel uneasy around it? If it does not bring light, why should it stay? And while you are checking the walls and shelves, do not ignore jewelry and fashion pieces either. A chain, ring, bracelet, charm, or pendant can look small and still carry deep attachment. Some items were prayed over in the wrong way. Some came from practices you should never join. Some were passed down through hands that carried things you do not want on your life. If every time you wear something your peace drops, your thoughts darken, or your spirit feels pressed, do not keep arguing with the warning. Pay attention. A pretty object can still carry a heavy signal. A stylish piece can still become a burden if what is behind it is not clean. Then there are books, guides, journals, manuals, and teachings that open the mind in the wrong direction while pretending to offer wisdom, healing, power, or self-discovery. Not everything sold as insight is safe. Not everything called spiritual growth leads to truth. There is material that teaches people to chase signs, energies, hidden knowledge, cards, stars, charms, rituals, and powers they were never meant to trust. And when those things enter a house, they do not always stay as information. They can become influence. That is why some people keep reading, studying, collecting, and exploring. yet feel farther from clarity instead of closer to it. A mind cannot stay clean while feeding on confusion every day. And let me say something else many people avoid. Not every doll, figurine or carved object is just a toy or collectible. Some things are made to look innocent. Some look old-fashioned. Some look cute. Some look artistic. But certain pieces carry fear, strange energy, and a presence that unsettles a room the moment they enter it. There are homes where children cannot sleep well, where nightmares keep repeating, where a strange unease settles at night, and no one stops to question the objects sitting on a shelf, on a bed, or in a corner. Stay with me, because this next part gets even more serious. A home should never become a storage place for things that disturb rest, darken peace, or make people feel watched in spaces that should feel safe. And then come the items people defend the most because culture has made them popular. Crystals, stones, healing pieces, energy objects, and things promoted as balance, focus, attraction, protection, or emotional cleansing have become normal in many homes. But normal does not always mean wise. Just because something is trendy does not mean it is safe to trust. People place these objects by their bed, under their pillow, on their desk, in their bag, or around their neck, hoping for calm, guidance, or power, while slowly giving their attention to something that should never become a source of spiritual confidence. If your peace depends on an object instead of truth, that object has already taken too much space, and while we are being honest, do not ignore what comes through your screens and speakers. Music, movies, games, channels, shows, and digital content shape atmosphere too. What enters through the eye and ear does not disappear after entertainment ends. It lingers, it echoes. It plants images, moods, cravings, fears, and thoughts. If the content in your home glorifies darkness, celebrates violence, mocks purity, normalizes confusion, or makes evil look playful, it is not neutral. What people repeat for fun today can become what weighs on them tomorrow. That is why some rooms feel loud even when no one is talking. That is why some minds stay restless even in silence. Guarding a home is not only about objects on shelves, it is also about what keeps playing in the background, and what kind of spirit is being welcomed through repetition. Another thing many people never question is what has been inherited. Old items are often treated as precious simply because they are old, because they belong to family, or because they carry emotional value. But age does not make something safe. Memory does not make something clean. A chest, mirror, necklace, chair, framed image, old box, handwritten note, ceremonial piece, or family treasure may carry a history you never asked about. And some histories do not stay in the past. They keep speaking through patterns, through emotional weight, through strange cycles that repeat from one generation to another. That is why you have to stop romanticizing every heirloom and start discerning what you keep. If an item came through a line of pain, fear, hidden practice, spiritual compromise, or deep rebellion, why would you assume it belongs in a place where you are trying to build peace? This is where many people miss it. They pray for change but protect the very things that keep old doors cracked open. They ask for freedom while keeping symbols of bondage in drawers, closets, boxes, and display cabinets. They want a clean atmosphere but refuse to confront what is tied to the past. Do not rush past this point. This could be the section that explains the pattern you have not been able to name. Not everything sentimental is safe. Not everything familiar is meant to follow you. Some things are not memories to keep. Some things are ties to cut. And peace often begins the moment you stop preserving what should have been removed a long time ago. Once your eyes begin to open, do not treat this like interesting information and move on. Act on it. Walk through your home slowly. Look at every room with fresh attention. Touch nothing casually. Dismiss nothing too quickly. Ask what belongs and what does not. Look at the walls. Look under the bed. Look inside drawers, storage bins, closets, cabinets, and forgotten corners. Check the bookshelf. Check the coffee table. Check the nightstand. Check what hangs by the door. Check the little gifts you never thought twice about. Check the souvenirs from trips. Check the things someone left behind. Check what was given to your children. Check what you wear often. Check what stays near your pillow. Check what plays in your house when no one is paying attention. This is not about panic. It is about courage. Sometimes the first sign of freedom is honesty. You have to admit when something has no place in your space anymore. And once you see it, do not start making excuses for it. Do not say it cost too much. Do not say it came from someone special. Do not say you are keeping it just for memory. If you know it should go, let it go. The longer you delay, the longer you keep room open for what should not remain. Quick reminder, do not click away now, because this is the part where change begins. Many people love revelation, but few love obedience. Yet obedience is often the bridge between a troubled atmosphere and a peaceful one. Start with the bedroom, because the place of rest should not be crowded with confusion. If sleep has been heavy, if dreams have been strange, if waking up feels harder than it should, do not ignore the possibility that the room itself needs inspection. Look at what faces the bed. Look at what rests near the headboard. Look at what is stored under the frame. Look at what hangs over the place where you sleep. Sometimes people pray before bed, but fall asleep beside objects, images, sounds, or influences that disturb the very peace they are asking for. Then go to the rooms of your children. This is important. What enters a child's room often enters their inner world before anyone notices. Toys, posters, games, costumes, media, symbols and decorations are not always as innocent as they look. Parents cannot only provide comfort and then ignore covering. Protection is part of love too. Then move into the living room, because that is where atmosphere spreads. It is where conversations sit, where guests gather, where sound fills the air, and where influence often settles most deeply. Ask yourself what your home regularly hosts. What words live there? What music repeats there? What images stay there? What emotional tone has become normal there? If peace is supposed to dwell in your home, then peace must be protected in what you display, what you play, what you watch, and what you allow to remain. A peaceful home does not happen by accident. It is built by choices, and sometimes those choices begin with removing things people once thought were harmless. And let me warn you about something. When you begin cleansing what has been tolerated for too long, resistance may show up. That does not mean you are doing the wrong thing. In many cases, it means you are finally touching what mattered. People often want instant calm the moment they decide to change their environment. But sometimes a room feels tense before it feels lighter. Sometimes emotions rise before peace settles. Sometimes you feel pushback before release. That is why you cannot stop halfway. Finish what you start. If something needs to go, let it go fully. If a pattern needs to break, do not keep feeding it. If an influence has been exposed, do not rename it so you can keep it. Keep moving, keep clearing, keep praying, keep speaking life over your home. And do not stop with physical things alone. Watch conversations too. Watch what enters through jokes, guest influence, repeated negativity, and voices that constantly pull the atmosphere downward. Watch the shows that make darkness feel normal. Watch the content that glamorizes confusion. Watch the messages that train the heart to tolerate what it should reject. A house can become spiritually crowded without a single statue if the sounds inside it are full of fear, corruption, and compromise. This is bigger than objects. It is about stewardship. It is about becoming watchful again. It is about learning that every repeated influence shapes the climate of a home, and every climate eventually shapes the people living inside it. If you want a different atmosphere, then something in the pattern must change. There is also a deeper lesson here. You cannot keep asking for clarity while protecting confusion. You cannot keep praying for peace while giving space to what disturbs peace. You cannot ask for stronger discernment while filling your environment with noise that dulls it. Many people want breakthrough, but they do not want inspection. They want freedom, but they do not want removal. They want new life, but they keep old agreements on display. That contradiction delays more than they realize. Sometimes what feels like a closed season is actually a call to cleanse. Sometimes what feels like spiritual silence is not absence at all. It is a warning. It is an invitation to align your environment with what you are asking for in your prayers. If you are asking for healing, remove what feeds fear. If you are asking for peace, remove what feeds unrest. If you are asking for clear direction, remove what clouds the mind. If you are asking for stronger faith, remove what keeps pulling your heart toward darkness and confusion. This is not about becoming extreme in a shallow way. It is about becoming serious in a wise way. And that seriousness changes things. The moment you stop treating your home like a random storage place for anything and everything, and start treating it like a place that must be guarded, something begins to shift inside you as well. you become more alert, more intentional, more steady, more aware of what belongs and what does not. That awareness is not bondage, it is freedom. Because once you see clearly, you stop partnering with what has been draining you in secret. So when you identify something that should not stay, do not hold a debate with it. Remove it. Do not honor what has brought disorder. Do not protect what has quietly worked against your peace. Some things should be thrown away. Some things should be destroyed. Some things should never be passed on to another person. Do not hand off confusion as a gift. Do not recycle what you know has become a problem. End the agreement. Close the door. Clean the room. Open the windows if you need to. Speak life over the space. Fill your house with truth, peace, prayer, gratitude and sound that lifts rather than darkens. Let your home breathe again. Let the rooms feel clean again. Let the corners stop holding what your spirit has been trying to resist for years. This is where many people begin to notice the change. The air feels different. The heaviness starts lifting. Thoughts begin to settle. Sleep improves. Tension drops. The home feels less crowded in an invisible way that is hard to explain but impossible to miss. Stay with this. Do not return to old patterns once the atmosphere shifts. Guard what you fought to restore. Be selective. Be prayerful. Be slow to receive every gift, every object, every trend, every piece of content, every new fascination. Not everything needs access to your home. Not everything deserves a place in your life. Some things are better refused at the door than removed after damage is done. Wisdom is not fear. Wisdom is knowing that what enters your space eventually asks to shape your spirit, your thoughts, your family, and your peace. And if you feel convicted right now, do not waste that moment. Act while the truth is clear. Do not tell yourself you will deal with it later. Later has stolen peace from too many people already. Get up, check the room, open the closet. Look again at the object you keep feeling unsure about. Revisit the drawer you never inspect. Reconsider the media you call harmless. Re-examine the item with the strange story behind it. If there is something in your home that keeps bringing pressure, fear, heaviness, unrest, confusion, or spiritual discomfort, stop pretending it is nothing. That inner check is there for a reason. Listen to it. Let this be the day your home comes under new order. Let this be the day you stop being passive and start becoming a true guardian of your space. Let this be the day the atmosphere changes because you finally responded instead of postponing. And remember this as you move forward. Peace is not only something you pray for. It is something you protect. Clarity is not only something you hope for. It is something you make room for. Freedom is not only something you declare. It is something you cooperate with. So clear the space. Guard the doors. Watch the influence. Protect the atmosphere. Fill your home with what strengthens life, faith, truth, rest and peace. And when you do, do it fully. Do it boldly. Do it without apology. Because your home was never meant to be a place of hidden pressure and silent turmoil. It was meant to be a place where peace can stay, where light can remain, and where what does not belong is no longer welcome.